We should eat our meal and then leave poor old stomach alone. Let it digest the meal. And if you're feeling hungry between meals, you know what you do? You drink water. That's what the stomach likes between meals, is water. One lady said, if I drink a whole glass of water, I feel bloated. So my answer to that is, don't drink a whole glass of water. Drink a little bit of water. And then a few minutes later, drink another little bit of water. And if your stomach still feels bloated with that, well, sip on peppermint tea or sip on ginger tea. Both of those teas can help with digestion.
If you've ever felt uncomfortable, heavy or gassy after meals, you're not alone. Studies show that nearly 1 in 4 adults experience bloating on a regular basis, and digestive issues like constipation, acid reflux and indigestion are becoming increasingly common. The good news is that these problems often have simple solutions. In this video, we'll explore the root causes of bloating and digestive discomfort, and I'll share natural remedies and practical lifestyle tips to help you feel lighter and more comfortable after meals. So if you've been struggling with your digestion, stay tuned. By the end of this video, you'll have actionable steps to support your gut health and restore balance to your digestive system.
Bloating can be caused by a few things. It can be caused by low hydrochloric acid. If someone says, I've got an over-acid stomach, I said, you must be digesting your food very quickly and very well, because that's what acid does. But when the food's not being digested and it's sitting in the stomach, that means that hydrochloric acid is low. So how can we boost hydrochloric acid? Taking the juice of a lemon just before the meal can boost the acid. Taking 1/3 of a cup of hot ginger tea just before the meal can boost hydrochloric acid. Mixing 1/4 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper in just a little water just before the meal, that'll wake anything up, it'll boost your hydrochloric acid. So that's how you can boost hydrochloric acid. Many people have exhausted by hydrochloric acid because of eating too often, eating late at night, stressing when they're eating, drinking water with their meals, and I think you'll agree with me, many Americans have those habits. The other thing that can cause bloating is eating too fast, not chewing properly. So it's important to chew slowly, masticate your food, so you would investigate those points to find out why. And it usually will find out why there is bloating. And also the hybridized wheat of the day. I've known many people that have stopped wheat and their bloating has stopped.
Bloating is a common issue that many people experience, often leading to discomfort and a feeling of fullness in the abdomen. Understanding its causes is crucial to addressing it effectively. One of the main reasons for bloating is poor digestion. When food isn't broken down properly, it can sit in the stomach or intestines, fermenting and releasing gas. Eating too quickly is a major contributor here, as gulping down food leads to swallowing excess air, which adds to the gas buildup. Foods like beans, lentils, broccoli and cabbage, although healthy, can also trigger bloating in some individuals because they are harder to digest and ferment more in the gut. Another significant cause is the consumption of carbonated beverages, which introduce additional gas into the digestive system. Additionally, food intolerances such as lactose or gluten intolerance can lead to bloating. When the body struggles to break down these substances, they ferment in the gut, producing gas and discomfort. Hormonal changes, especially in women during their menstrual cycle, can also cause water retention and bloating. Stress plays a role too, as it disrupts the digestive process and can slow down the movement of food through the intestines. Lastly, constipation is another common culprit. When stool builds up in the colon, it can create a feeling of fullness and pressure in the abdomen. To naturally cure bloating, the first step is to eat slowly and chew food thoroughly, which helps reduce the amount of air swallowed and aids digestion. Avoiding trigger foods, such as beans or high FODMAP foods, can be helpful if they seem to aggravate symptoms. Adding ginger to meals or drinking ginger tea is a great remedy, as ginger contains compounds that relax the digestive tract and help food pass through more easily. Probiotics found in yogurt or fermented foods like kimchi and sauerkraut can also improve gut health by balancing the microbiome and reducing gas production. Staying hydrated is essential, as water helps flush out excess sodium and keeps the digestive system moving efficiently. Regular physical activity, even something as simple as walking, can stimulate digestion and prevent food from lingering in the stomach and intestines. Herbal teas, such as peppermint or chamomile, have soothing properties that can relieve bloating by calming the digestive muscles and reducing inflammation. Managing stress through relaxation techniques like deep breathing, meditation, or yoga can also improve digestion and reduce bloating. For those experiencing bloating due to constipation, increasing fibre intake through fruits, vegetables, and whole grains can help, but it's important to pair it with sufficient water to avoid worsening the problem. In cases where bloating is related to hormonal fluctuations, consuming foods rich in magnesium, such as spinach, bananas, and almonds, can reduce water retention. Cutting back on processed and salty foods is also essential, as high sodium levels can cause the body to retain water, exacerbating bloating. Apple cider vinegar, taken in small amounts before meals, is another natural remedy that can improve digestion and reduce bloating by stimulating stomach acid production.
But how do we boost hydrochloric acid? Well, we have a bitter tea that we sell, and I'm going to give you the recipe, and this tea has healed many a low hydrochloric acid. It is one part dandelion. Dandelion is a bitter herb. We learnt about dandelion this morning in our herb lecture. 1 part gentian. Gentian is an incredibly bitter herb. 1 part licorice. And licorice is a herb that has an emollient, and that emollient helps to coat the stomach, and 1/2 part of a very expensive herb called golden seal. And golden seal has a nickname, and that nickname is King of Tonics to all mucous membranes. Dandelion, gentian, licorice and golden seal are all roots, and you need to boil roots. So the recipe, here's the recipe. So you buy these dried herbs and you put them all in a jar. You make up a whole jar. So the recipe is 1 teaspoon of this herb mix, we'll say herbs, and 1 teaspoon of ginger, fresh ginger. So the fresh ginger can be grated or it can be chopped into small pieces. 2 cups of water. And then that is a gentle simmer. So simmer for 10 minutes. The ginger certainly makes it more palatable because these 3 herbs are very bitter. And the ginger is a sweet bitter, and the licorice also is a little sweet. It makes it palatable. Some people, when I give them that tea, they think I'm killing them. And I said, there's one requirement when you drink this tea: smile. Here's the dose. So the dose is, once you've made the tea, dose is 1/3 of a cup, hot, just before the meal. So when you take the 1/3 of a cup of that tea hot just before the meal, the bitterness in the mouth gives messages to your brain to release more digestive enzymes. And when the hot hits the stomach, warming up the stomach, it also ensures a release of your digestive enzymes. In Psalm 104 verse 14, the Bible says, God gave herbs for the service of man. And that's what these herbs do. They revive, restore, and regenerate your gastric, stomach, digestion function. That's what they do. How long should you be on it? As long as it takes. Now my son James, built like this, does bodybuilding for a hobby. He's a builder. He takes a bottle of this to work And all the guys on the workplace have a swig of it before they eat their meal because they're going to get more out of their protein, and if they have more protein they'll get bigger muscles. So there's James with his bottle of bitter herbs getting all the guys to have a swig before they have their meal. I usually suggest that a person be on it for at least 6 months, and remember that will increase your digestive efficiency. Remember, it revives, restores and regenerates the functioning of the stomach.
If you've been struggling with symptoms like bloating, gas, indigestion, or feeling overly full after meals, this tea can be a game changer. The bitter herbs in the mix are essential because they stimulate the vagus nerve, which is responsible for signalling the production of digestive enzymes and gastric acid. Over time, this stimulation strengthens the stomach's ability to break down food, absorb nutrients, and prevent undigested particles from fermenting in the gut. This process can significantly reduce discomfort and even improve overall gut health. However, as with any herbal remedy, it's wise to listen to your body. Some people may find the tea too bitter at first, or experience mild side effects such as nausea when they start. If that happens, reduce the dose to 1/4 cup and gradually work up to 1/3 of a cup as your body adjusts. For those with medical conditions such as ulcers or high blood pressure, since licorice can elevate blood pressure in sensitive individuals, consult a healthcare professional before starting this regimen. It's also worth noting that a healthy diet goes hand in hand with tea. Incorporating nutrient-rich whole foods like leafy greens, fermented vegetables, and lean proteins can further support digestion. Avoiding processed foods, sugary drinks, and excessive alcohol will help the stomach heal and perform more efficiently.
What would you say if a lemon is hurting them or something acidic is hurting them? What could be the cause of that?
If that is true, that tells me that the lining of the stomach is a little inflamed.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone's esophagus is feeling burning, it means that the little gateway from the stomach or from the esophagus through to the stomach, it's not working well because there's a two-layered valve right there from the esophagus into it. And the stomach acid should never come up. Mm-hmm. Why would it come up? Well, when people eat all day long, when people have their largest meal at the end of the day, then lie down to go to sleep, all of that can contribute to weakening that little valve. And that little valve, called the cardiac sphincter, it sits right in the middle of our diaphragm. And if someone has poor posture, weak abdominal muscles, that can also contribute to that being weak. And stress, when people are stressed and their stomach, their muscles tighten, that can open that little cardiac sphincter and acid can come up. Mm-hmm. What often happens is if someone's hydrochloric acid level is low and the food's not getting digested quick enough, it can start to ferment, and then that can come up through that little cardiac sphincter. So just remember, dogs have 10 times the hydrochloric acid that we do. They don't have heartburn, they don't have reflux, they don't have stomach ulcers. In fact, they digest meat very, very quickly. So if someone says to me, I've got too much hydrochloric acid, I say, fantastic, you must be digesting your meal very quickly. No, when lemon or acid things burn, that tells me that the lining of the stomach isn't as it should be. And the lining of the stomach is about 99% water. So then you would check that the person's well hydrated. And there's a herb called slippery elm. Slippery elm is the powdered bark of the slippery elm tree. And when that is taken, that coats and soothes the lining of the stomach. So that's a great way to heal that.
Yes. And what about, I guess, lemon compared to antacids? Is that something we should be taking for the acid?
Well, an antacid is a very dangerous thing because we need that acid to break down our protein. And if we don't have enough acid, our protein's not getting broken down and we can end up being protein deficient.
When protein isn't broken down properly, it can lead to numerous issues. Protein is essential for the repair and regeneration of tissues, the production of enzymes, and the synthesis of hormones. If we aren't digesting protein effectively, over time this can weaken the immune system, hinder muscle growth, and even affect mental clarity because amino acids from protein are vital for neurotransmitter production. Instead of relying on antacids, which neutralize stomach acid and further impair digestion, we should aim to strengthen the stomach's natural environment. One way to do this is by supporting the production of hydrochloric acid. Foods that naturally boost stomach acid include fermented vegetables like sauerkraut and kimchi, which also contain probiotics that enhance gut health. Apple cider vinegar, when diluted in water and consumed before meals, can stimulate acid production and improve digestion.
Does cabbage help with healing ulcers or reflux?
Yes, it has been known to help. How it would help reflux is not so much acting on that little cardiac sphincter muscle, but more probably improving digestion.
Or maybe the management of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Acid reflux and polyps in the throat, how would you reverse that?
The polyps in the throat can often be a result of the acid coming up. And with polyps in the throat, they can wear castor oil compresses around the throat at night. The castor oil penetrates deep and can help to break up unnatural formations. But once the cardiac sphincter is strengthened by giving rest between meals and rest at night and taking the magnesium to strengthen it. Now there's one more point that I didn't mention, and that is that our cardiac sphincter sits right in the middle of our diaphragm. And so when our abdominal muscles are strong and we are abdominal breathing, that strengthens that whole abdominal muscular area, which has an effect to help strengthen the cardiac sphincter. So strengthening the abdominal muscles is very important. I mentioned in a previous presentation we should all be doing push-ups every day. And push-ups are great at strengthening the abdomen. You've just got to make an appointment with yourself so that you can do it.
Understand. And then there is another question that asks, what is the relation between citrus fruits, beans, kales, etc. with a reflux? They are known to trigger acidity. Should that be avoided?
Well, what we have to remember first of all, that an acid stomach is a very good thing. For many years now, people have been told that an acid stomach is not good, but an acid stomach is very good because it's acid that's required to break down our protein. And if someone says to me, I have a very acid stomach, I say, congratulations, that's fantastic. It means that you're digesting your meals very effectively, because dogs have 10 times the acid in their stomach than humans have. And dogs don't get reflux or stomach ulcers. It's not the acid. It's often not enough acid. And when someone hasn't got enough acid, the food can sit there for too long and start to ferment. And the fermentation of that can even come up and cause discomfort. And yes, it is true that acid fruits like your lemon, your orange, they increase acidity, but remember that's good. And the beans should only be a problem if they're not properly prepared. So they should be soaked, they should be very well rinsed, even brought to the boil and rinsed again. And depending on the bean, for the longer cooking beans like your chickpea or your kidney beans, I will often rinse them 3/4 of the way through cooking. And then in the last quarter of cooking, I'll have them with the flavourings, the sauces. If they still cause a problem, my suggestion is bring it back until they don't cause a problem. So a teaspoon a meal, if that causes a problem, have half a teaspoon a meal. So you bring it back. Remember, you're the doctor here. Bring it back until it doesn't cause a problem.
Another important factor is how we eat. Eating slowly, chewing food thoroughly, and not drinking too much liquid during meals can prevent diluting stomach acid. These practices also signal the digestive system to release enzymes and prepare for proper digestion. Stress management is equally crucial because chronic stress suppresses digestive function by redirecting blood flow away from the stomach and intestines. Taking time to relax before eating or incorporating mindfulness techniques can help alleviate this. For those experiencing frequent burning sensations, addressing inflammation in the stomach lining should be a priority. Slippery elm, as mentioned earlier, is highly effective. Other natural remedies include marshmallow root and aloe vera juice, both of which have soothing and anti-inflammatory properties. Additionally, zinc carnosine supplements can promote the repair of the stomach lining, offering long-term benefits for individuals with chronic irritation. Thank you for watching. I hope these tips help you find relief from bloating and other digestive problems. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more natural health advice. Take care of your gut, and I'll see you in the next video.